Well, this sketch is an old favourite of mine by Adrian Plass, the great author and poet. It's called Christian Confession, and I've updated and adapted it for use at an alpha launch party. So the basic premise is there is an interviewer and a guy called Steve who is a self-professed Christian, and he's trying very hard not to be. Christian Confession. Steve, you are a Christian. Yeah, that's right. I'm a convicted practicing evangelical Christian. And how long have you been doing it? Well, I've been one for a few years now, but I think I was actually one, for a little while before that, without really realising it. I see. So you weren't always like you are now? No, I was a normal kid. Grew up like everybody else. Took drugs, pinched stuff from my family and friends, beat people up now and then. Owed money all the time, couldn't handle relationships, out of work, depressed, suicidal, couldn't sleep at night, couldn't stay awake in the day, confused about life, terrified of death. I was just a average bloke. I had it all going for me and I threw it all away. What happened? Yeah, there was this party. If I'd known it was an alpha launch, I'd never have gone. I'd always kept away from beliefs like that in the past. Christianity, I mean. Of course, I'd experimented with it. All kids do, don't they? The old Bible verse behind the cricket pavilion, a bit of harmless prayer with a couple of mates on the way home from school. It doesn't hurt anyone, does it? But this party was different. Yeah, it was different. In what way? Well, I didn't notice anything at first. I was happily minding my own business, eyeing up the birds like you do at parties. But after a while, I suddenly realised that most of the people around me were, I might as well be frank, they were sober. How did that make you feel? Well, I panicked at first. It was blatant. And some of them were... Yes? They were smiling at each other. They were smiling? Yeah, I really wanted to get out, but someone pushed a J2O in my hand and I just didn't seem to have the willpower. And then... Yes? This bloke, must have been a dealer, I suppose. He had a load of invites and he gave me one. And I Go on. I said yes. You accepted the invitation? Yeah. And then? Well, someone pulled the blinds down and started passing the copies of A Life Worth Living around, and I don't know, I just couldn't stop. I had to have more and more. I was crazy for it. I downloaded the Bible in 1 Year app and even changed my home screen to a picture of Nicky Gumbel. I was in a terrible state. And then a few days later, it happened. What happened? I lost the shakes. My hands stopped shaking. I couldn't make them shake anymore. I started to feel sort of clean inside. I could not sleep at night. I wasn't having nightmares. I can't describe it. It was awful. But none of that was as bad as when I started... Go on. I started being good. I see. What form did that take? Well, it started with little things, I found myself helping with the washing up, offering my seat to the elderly without being asked, that sort of thing. But then it got worse. I had this feeling that I wasn't the most important person in the world and that people like Bear Grylls had as much right to live as I did. That's incredible. I know, but there was nothing I could do to stop it. I was on a slippery slope to happiness and just didn't know how to stop. Steve, what made you do it? What attracted you to Christianity in the first place? I know what it was. It was the superficial things, the tinselly, glittering things that somehow became important, such as, eternal life, total forgiveness, deep and permanent joy, a chance to find my purpose in life. I was fooled into thinking those things were the really important things. Well, the really important things like money, sex and power, I'd lost sight of them. You lose your perspective, you see. And now, is there hope for you? Well, I've been away to their place and had the cure, and I do feel a bit more hopeful now. There are some encouraging signs then. Yeah, I am pleased to say that I have started swearing again. I swore at the vicar on the way in, actually. Apologised to him afterwards, I'm afraid, but they did say at the place that it was bound to take some time. I'm hoping to start a WhatsApp group over the next few days to spread some gossip. So, slowly but surely. Steve, thank you. Been a pleasure.